If you're loving this podcast, be sure to check out the full lineup. From news and local politics to sports and true crime. Find your next great listen right now at duluthnewstribune.com/podcasts. That's duluthnewstribune.com/podcasts.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Thursday, August 31st. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. How many drag troops do the Twin Ports have? More than it has ports. Abby Gannon, co-chair of Duluth Superior Pride, said she's aware of 3 drag troops and they will perform at Bayfront Festival Park this year. There will be Mystic Productions, based out of the Duluth Flame, The Body Electric, based out of the main club in Superior, and Zenith City Horror. This year's festival will ramp up today and feature events throughout the holiday weekend. The theme of the 37th annual festival is Drag Me to Pride. Drag has always had a presence at Pride, but this year that will be expanded. It's the first year drag queens will be featured on the Foo Foo Choo Choo ride on the North Shore Scenic Railroad. Sunday's Pride Parade, along Tower Avenue in Superior, will feature 2 grand marshals who have a long history in the local drag community, Aaron Olson and Alex Jost. Duluth Superior Pride kicks off with a reception today at the St. Louis County Depot. Duluth Mayor Emily Larson and Superior Mayor Jim Payne will offer an official welcome at the reception, located across the street from one of 2 locations hosting this year's Pride Art Exhibition. Work from Folks of Duluth, a series of portraits by photographer Max Brunner, will be on display at the Duluth Public Library and the Zeitgeist Atrium. The library branches are hosting an entire week of themed events. On Friday morning, the downtown library will host Drag Storytime. Venus DeMars will headline Saturday's Free Pride Festival at Bayfront Festival Park, marking the first time the transgender rock icon will have lead billing at her hometown Pride event. The lineup will also include Campfire Tranarchist, the musical project of Deep Cuts barbershop owner B. Golden, and a buzzworthy new synth duo called Embalming Eva. The Gemstones will also perform at Bayfront. This will be their first Duluth Superior Pride since the death of the band's founder, Diona Johnson. With Johnson, who performed as Afro Geode, the Gemstones had a breakout performance headlining Pride in 2021. The Duluth Flame will host Friday's Party X. Partygoers will need to reserve some stamina for Saturday night, when a Pride Block party spans both the main club and the Superior Flame. The Duluth Flame is also hosting a Saturday Pride drag show. There's yet more drag planned for Sunday, with a drag show fundraiser at the main club following a Foo Foo Choo Choo after party at the Duluth Flame. For details on this year's celebration, see duluthsuperiorpride.com. Cleveland Cliffs and the United Steelworkers have reached a tentative 3-year labor agreement, according to a news release Tuesday night from Cliffs. The new contract will cover approximately 430 USW represented workers at the North Shore Mine and plant near Babbitt and Silver Bay, respectively. The agreement is pending ratification by USW local union members. Workers at the mine and plant joined USW in July after being the last non-union taconite mine and pellet plant on the Iron Range. North Shore partially restarted operations in April after sitting idle for almost a year. And now with the preview of an upcoming story, Dan Williamson joins us with a special guest.
Thanks, Wyatt. I'm joined by one of our colleagues, Duluth News Tribune features reporter Melinda Levine, and Melinda is working on a story that we'll be able to find in Friday's e-edition of the Duluth News Tribune. It's also a story you can find on the website prior at duluthnewstribune.com. Melinda, you were telling me this is a story about a farm in Duluth that's been around for a while. In fact, it's a wedding venue place. But beyond that, people that went to Applepalooza last year had a chance to see it up close and personal. What more can you tell us?
Yes, so Beaver River Farm, run by the Pearsons, Kathy and Ben, and now their sons and their daughters-in-law, they are expanding their cow-calf operation. So with the launch of last year's successful Applepalooza last fall, they had over 3,000 guests, they guesstimate. They are now kicking off their wedding venue. So they spent a lot of time renovating their old barn to create this big wedding venue now. They have an outdoor woodland wedding ceremony space. And they've done a lot of renovations inside to create different spaces for the bridal parties. It's really something what they've done and what they've continued to do out there.
Very picturesque farm. You and I both had a chance to attend Applepalooza last year.
Yes.
Yeah, the apples last year from Dixon's Orchard, the champagne apple. I had never had a champagne apple before. That was a life-changing apple.
I hadn't either. It was so good.
I believe it was the first time they ever attempted an event like that, and it was a success.
Yeah, it was the first time they had something. And Kathy, the kind of the matriarch of the farm, she talked about like that really kind of opened their eyes that there's more that they can offer out there. There's more that they can do. And yeah, this will be their first kind of wedding season that they're all up to code and everything's all ready. So they're really excited to kind of kick off and shift from mostly animals to now wedding and like some animals.
And another Applepalooza, I understand.
Yes, and Applepalooza is coming up. It's now a 2-day festival it'll be September 30th and October 1st out at Beaver River Farm.
Wonderful. As far as takeaways go, Melinda, 2-part question. What was your takeaway? And then what do you hope our audience takes away from the story?
I think that one of my takeaways was just really getting to spend time with this family that's so invested in local agriculture and each other, and the pride that they take in what they've created and what they are like. They're stewards of the land, and they've been doing it for over 100 years in this family. It was so beautiful out there. Like photographer Jed Carlson and I were out there a couple of weeks ago, and you felt like you were like in a picture, like the land like sprawled out. The Beaver River was right there, and granted, like the water was kind of low. Kathy said it was still just so gorgeous and so cool to spend time with them and step into their history. And I hope that readers can just take away like, hey, here's more salt of the earth people that we have here just doing cool things with being stewards of the land and of like our local economy.
Absolutely. Again, you can find this story in Friday's e-edition of the Duluth News Tribune. You can also find it on the website at duluthnewstribune.com. There you'll be able to see not only Jed's recent photos, but you'll be able to see video from last year's Applepalooza if you're curious what it looked like and if you're thinking about checking it out coming up here in a few weeks. Melinda, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Dan.
Wyatt, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by the Superior Telegram's history podcast, Archive Dive.
Weather for the Duluth area today, looking at plenty of sunshine and a little bit of a breeze coming in from the southeast. High temperatures in the mid-70s, dropping into the low 60s tonight, and then the temperatures really start to crank up as we head into the holiday weekend. High temperatures in the mid-80s for Friday with mostly sunny and breezy conditions, getting into the upper 80s on Saturday and low 90s by Sunday. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Pointer.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. Available at superiortelegram.com or wherever you also get this podcast. This month's episode is part 1 of a 2-part series looking back at the life of the legendary Bud Grant. Reporting for today's episode was done by Jay Gabler, Terry Caddo, and Melinda Levine. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.